It's life.
When it's all said and done, there is just one thing that matters. Did I do my best to live for truth? Did I live my life for you? When it's all been said and done, all my treasures will be mine. Only what I've done for love's reward will stand the test of time. Lord, your mercy is so great that you look beyond our weakness and find purest gold in miry clay, making sinners into saints. I will always sing your praise here on earth and ever after. For you've shown me heaven's my true home. When it's all been said and done, you're my life when life is done.
So, good morning
When
again.
it's all been said and
We're going to start good morning once again. We're going to start with the announcement. Already, we have prayed and we have sang songs of adoration unto our God. So, we are going straight to the announcements and then we go into our studies today. So, if you look on the screen, it's just a very a warm welcome to everybody. And this morning, it's a beautiful, Sunday. If you look outside, it's so bright, but you don't, go out of your house without, having some kind of a thick cloth, jacket, because it's a bit cold also within it. But we thank the Lord for the opportunity to come into the house of God. And today being the 16th of March, 2025. If the Lord has placed it on your hearts and you want to give an offering, as I always encourage you, please do so. And we have a PayPal account there on the screen. You can take a photo of the logo and you can just pay to that Gmail address of Berea Mary Church. So we continue with the continuation of the service. Before we go to the study of the Word of God, I would like to ask if there is anyone that may want us to pray in the area of your health. Have you been sick the previous week? or you're feeling somehow, we can pray together as a family. Or if there's anybody who is celebrating his or her birthday, we can also do that. We are family in the house of God. So if there is no other person or there is no person, we go straight to the study of the Word of God. And today we are going to study another epistle. And this is the epistle of Paul to Titus. The epistle of Paul to Titus. And the theme of this epistle is on good works. But it deals with, in chapter 1, it deals with the appointing of godly leadership based on specific qualifications. Titus, just like the epistle of First Timothy and Second Timothy, the epistle of Titus is also a pastoral letter. It was written to pastors, those who are standing behind the pulpits. It was written to Titus, but it's a pastoral letter. And what they need to do and teach their congregation, their members in their various ministries. The appointing of such people who are to function as elders or deacons, as we studied in 1 Timothy and 2 Timothy, where Apostle Paul gave all the qualifications. So it is the same thing in Titus, the epistle that was written to Titus. So Apostle Paul gave the same commands, instructions unto Titus. But let's look at the background of the epistle that was written to Titus. Who is the author? Of course, we should not be in doubt of the author. The author is Apostle Paul. Today we are only dealing with the introductive part of it. We are not going into chapters. But coming next week on Sunday, we are going to study chapter 1. But today is just an overview or an introduction of the epistle that was written on to Titus, one of the co-laborers of Apostle Paul, just as Timothy, who was with Paul on his journey. So Titus also was also with Apostle Paul on his journey. So as we already stated, Apostle Paul is the author. And you can find this in Titus chapter 1 and verse 1. And the dates that it was written, it was around AD 66. Where did Apostle Paul write the epistle unto Titus? The geographical location. Apostle Paul was in Nicopolis. This was after his first imprisonment in Rome. After he was released from his first imprisonment. Apostle Paul did not only go into prison one time, he went into prison many times. And this was after his first imprisonment in Rome. He had to write this epistle when the Christians came to hear Apostle, Peter and all apostles, teaching on Pentecost. They were teaching. If you study in the book of Acts, so it was after these, Christians became believers, and they went back into Crete. So they then established a church. Apostle Paul established a church in Crete and told Titus to do certain things. These people have come to believe the gospel of Jesus Christ. These and these and these are the things you need to do. You need to appoint elders. Because when we're talking about doing the work of God, being a pastor or an overseer, a bishop, there are a lot of things that you will not be able to do alone. You need people. So Apostle Paul gave commands unto Titus to appoint elders who were going to serve along with Titus. And he gave the criteria or the qualifications for eldership in the leadership of the church in Crete. So Apostle Paul he penned down this epistle in Nicopolis after his first imprisonment in Rome. So what is the theme of the epistle that was written to Titus? The theme is on good works. Good works. The theme is on good works. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the major part of our salvation. To manifest good works. Agathos, elgon in the Greek, divine good. In gratitude for what Jesus had done on the cross, you have now become a believer, and you are required to manifest good works. Every Christian must be able to manifest good works. So the theme of Titus is on good works. So what was the purpose of writing? It is an admonition to Titus about the qualification of appointing church leaders. The qualification of appointing church leaders. This is why Apostle Paul had to write, because already the church has been established in Crete, and now you need certain people who are going to serve alongside with you. And these people, they must fulfill certain qualifications. If they do not have these qualifications, they should not be elders, because elders in the church, they are very, very key in the development and thriving of every church. And then we're going to study the key verses. Our first key verse, because these key verses, they tie up to the whole picture of the three chapters. The book of Titus only has 3 chapters, from chapter 1 unto chapter 3. Chapter 1 has 16 verses, and chapter 2 has 15 verses, and chapter 3 also has 15 verses. So the whole epistle that was written unto Titus, there are key verses which gives us the whole picture. But let's take our first key reference verse, and this is in Titus chapter 1 and verse 5. And it says, "For this cause I left thee in Crete, that you should set in order the things that are wanting, the things that are needful, and ordain elders in every city, as I had appointed thee," or commanded thee. Are we all together? So this is what Apostle Paul said. It says, "As I have appointed thee or commanded thee." Take notes of the word appointed thee. Is simply referring to what he had already stated to Titus earlier. Apostle Paul was with him, and he gave certain instructions what he's supposed to do. In Crete, a church is now established. You need elders, and these are the things you need to do. And this is what you need to teach in this church. So we take our second key reference verse, and this is in chapter 1 and verse 12. Titus chapter 1 and verse 12. It says, one of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Christians are always liars, evil beasts, and slow bellies. So what he's saying here about the Christians is that they are liars. Imagine a city where people are filled up with some kind of behaviors. They lie. They are liars. And Apostle Paul is saying, a minute here, I don't know why. It's saying here that they are liars in verse 12, evil beasts, and slow bellies. Do you understand what does that mean? Slow bellies is referring to being gluttonous. They eat a lot. They are glutton. They are evil beasts. Their behaviors, their character traits is full of evil, and they can lie. And they eat a lot. They are gluttonous. So imagine such a city where you find people like this who can tell lies. Anything they say, you would have to examine it properly in this city. Imagine. And they can eat a lot, and they are evil in their character traits, in their behaviors. So let's take another scriptural reference. And this is Titus chapter 1 and verse 16. We are reading verse 16. I want you to go to verse 16. It says, Titus chapter 1 and verse 16. Yes. They profess that they know God, but in